Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today we're doing another thrift store walkthrough. So this is a really big thrift store. On the bottom is mainly clothing, which we resell clothing if you're unfamiliar. So that's mainly why we're here, but it also has an upstairs area that's filled with just like thrift store things. But they do have this bin on the first floor filled with movies, so DVDs, but they also have some VHS. So I usually take a quick kind of scan through that just to see if there's anything that we don't already have. So then I just had it right upstairs while John stayed downstairs to look through the clothing. So they have quite a few rooms up here. This first room, I've sped up the footage a bit because some people were saying they would prefer if I posted shorter videos. So I don't know, you can let me know if you like that or not. I don't know how to make it shorter when it's like a big thrift store, so other than speeding up the footage. So we'll try this and see. And then going into the bigger room, they do have a bunch of carpets, like area rugs, which I think is pretty cool. I'm really on the hunt for an area rug for my living room, but the problem is I don't really like any like kind of patterny florals, especially like that one, especially right there. So it's been really difficult. Like we've been living here for 2 years and I still haven't found one, but it's driving me nuts that I don't have one. So I'm thinking maybe like a solid color one might be the solution. So they had a few vintage crock pots. I really liked this green one. It was almost like an avocado-y green with like a brown insert. And they had kind of a very 80s looking toaster oven, but that was pretty much it for the vintage appliances. But they usually have this wall filled with appliances. And then this is like the big room with all these racks. Now, I do find this thrift store a little chaotic. Like everything seems to be just kind of thrown on the shelf with no rhyme or reason to it for the most part. I thought this was very like 70s looking, but it did have a barcode on it. So I forget exactly the year in the 70s the barcode was created now, but I used to have to know from my old job at a thrift store. I feel like it was at least mid 70s though. So, because sometimes we were a consignment shop as well. So sometimes people would come in and try to be like, oh, this is this old, but it would have a barcode on it. And we'd be like, well, the barcode wasn't created until this time. So it has to be at least, made after this date. I swear these kitchen geese are like crying out for me to buy them because I see this stuff everywhere. It reminds me so much of the 90s though, like, and not in a good way. I'm not even sure what that exactly was, if he was supposed to be upright or that he was supposed to be down. I think that was actually a vintage like face, like rotating brush to wash your face with, maybe. I could be wrong, but that's what it seemed like it was. My eyes went directly for this little dish here because it's so fall. I am so ready for fall. I thought it might have been vintage, but I don't think it is, judging by the sticker on the back of it. But I did think it was really cute for fall. I have like a weird... a growing collection of like divided, like I call them candy trays. And then I did notice this mixer down here that looked fairly old, but maybe only like 80s, not like super old, like 50s or anything. But yeah, I seem to be really drawn to these like candy dishes because I've noticed that I have a lot of them. And then I noticed this little bag of plastic canvas. It had like a Christmas one I noticed right away, but then I think it had like every holiday inside. I don't know if these are supposed to be coasters or what, but there seemed to be quite a few, and it seemed to be like maybe for every month or every holiday. I don't know. I was also trying to avoid filming anyone else, so I was a little bit all over the place in here, but yeah, I do like this thrift store, and it's really big and it's affordable, but it does seem really chaotic with just the way things are thrown on the shelves, which I don't know. I kind of get it. That's how it was at the thrift store I used to work at too. I'd always try to spend my free time like organizing it. But my boss would always like never want me to do it. But I'm like, it looks so much better when things are organized. Like it will help things sell better. But I don't know. It just wasn't a priority, I guess. So whatever. Personally, I think it looks better and things do sell better when it's merchandised a little nicer. But I totally get that there might just not be time for it as well. So I don't want to like hate on them. I noticed this little ceramic back here that I thought might have been a toothbrush holder, but it did only have like one hole in the top of it. But I thought it would match my bathroom pretty well, but I didn't end up getting it because well, first of all, I think toothbrush holders out in the open in the bathroom are really disgusting. But yeah, I don't really have the room for it either in there. They do have some records and CDs and tapes as well. I took a little brief look through these bin of tapes because John's been collecting tapes recently, so I thought I would just take a brief look. I didn't end up looking through the records because I felt like it would take a long time, so I just didn't bother. They have a lot of picture frames. They have a lot of mugs too, so many mugs. I guess the mug section's a little bit organized. I feel like most of these mugs were here since the last time I was here, which I think was like 6 months ago, maybe less time. I don't even remember anymore. I can't believe that we're getting close to the end of 2023. I feel like 2023 just started. It's so weird how we're almost like going into fall and Christmas season already. Not that I'm complaining because it's my favorite time of year, but it's just like, wow, I can't believe it's almost 2024. So I've been really keen to find vintage mugs because recently I found one for I think $1 and I ended up selling it for like 30 or 40. So I'm like, oh, this was such a good flip. And so I've been checking mug sections everywhere with no luck, unfortunately. I noticed that they had some of those like kind of basket paper plate holders that I used on my like basket wall display. And then I noticed that they had these like a plastic version that does the same thing in this like orangey color. Kind of looks vintage. They're definitely not vintage, but it could have that kind of vintage feel to it with the orange. One thing that I've been wanting to ask you guys is if any of you use like Instagram on a regular basis. So I stopped using social media back in February of 2022, and it was just going to take a little break, and then it just ended up being a really long break, and I kind of feel great not using it, to be honest. But recently I was thinking about it, so I did reactivate my accounts. I haven't used them yet, but so I love fall, like I mentioned, and Christmas, and that is when I used to share a lot on Instagram. So I had created an Instagram like for this channel where I could share vintage things, but I didn't end up using it that much before I stopped using social media altogether. So I was thinking about using that again. I'm not going to use my personal one again, I don't think, but I was thinking about using the vintage account again. I used to really like sharing little bits of my day or like the movies I was watching or the records I was listening to or just little, sometimes I would just share like, if I was out thrifting, like I would share in real time some things. And I did really enjoy, like I would chat with people on a fairly regular basis. And I do actually really miss that. I just didn't really miss any of like, I don't know, social media is just such a, I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion, but I was wondering if any of you would be like interested in seeing things like that. But those are the types of things that I would share over there. And I don't know, it was just kind of fun. Keep it super lighthearted and just really focused on like vintage things. So I don't know. I've been thinking about it. Maybe I'll put a poll up on my community tab and see if anyone cares or not. But I did really like it, and since we're almost, going into fall season and Christmas, I was like, oh, maybe I should do it again. I don't know. Anyway, some of you were saying that you really liked my like home vlog that I posted recently, so it would kind of be like that. Mostly what I'm talking about is posting on Instagram stories. Like I would usually story probably almost every day, and yeah, it was really fun chatting with. There was a few people that I chatted with on a regular basis, but anyway, just, I guess you could let me know in the comments, but I think maybe I will put up a poll on my community tab if you felt like checking that out and letting me know there as well. I would really appreciate the feedback. I thought this platter was so pretty. I love amber colored glass. It reminds me so much of the 70s. I'm pretty sure my parents in the 90s had this exact same dinnerware set, and if it wasn't exactly the same, it was very close because as soon as I spotted it, it was like unlocking a memory. Once again, my eyes went right to the fall piece. So this definitely wasn't vintage, but I really, really liked it. I thought it was super cute, little acorn. So I did end up getting that. I was debating on whether or not I should, and I thought I would just go for it. And then if I don't end up using it anywhere, I can always donate it again. At the end of the video, I will show you everything that I did end up getting. I didn't end up getting a ton of stuff, but yeah, I guess I did end up getting a few things. Looks like this cake plate had an unfortunate incident at some point. Overall, I felt like I didn't really find much in here though, compared to what I was hoping to find, I guess. So I feel like most of this stuff was probably here the last time I was here. I wasn't really seeing much that I felt like I hadn't seen before. But I don't know, I guess that's just the way it is sometimes. I thought this china was really pretty, but I don't need any more china, that's for sure. But I did think it was super pretty. I don't remember that from the last time I was here. The glasses were like so teeny, they were almost like for espresso or something is all I could think of. I loved this little fall platter. I feel like it would be really good for like guac or salsa and tortilla chips. But I have so many platters and things that I really had to talk myself out of getting it because I thought I already have a bunch of stuff like this that I could use. I don't really need to have a fall themed one that I'm only going to use during fall. So I did walk away from that, but I did think it was really cute. So then they do have a room that's just dedicated to books, which I have found a lot of vintage cookbooks at this place before, so I definitely wanted to go in and have a look at the cookbook section. I didn't really spend much of any time looking at the books though, but John did come in here, I think, and he found some books from like a book series that he's been collecting, but they do definitely have a lot of books here, but I was really just interested in the cookbooks. I did notice they had this little like Disney plaque. It looked very 90s to me. I thought that was cute. So books, they're reasonably priced as well. The cookbooks are priced individually, but they're generally priced pretty well. So but again, the cookbook section is just total chaos. So I didn't like film myself looking through the books because it would have been almost impossible. So I did end up finding some cookbooks on this time, which I will share in a minute. So here is what I ended up getting. So as I think I already mentioned, I got the little acorn dish. Definitely not vintage, but I don't know, just it was cute and brown, and that kind of goes with a lot of what's in my house anyway. So I did end up getting that. And I went back and forth about whether or not I should get this while I was looking and filming. And ultimately I did decide to get it. And I'm very happy I did. I don't regret it. I think it very well goes with the things that I already have. So I feel like it fits in with my entire vibe. Like I could probably leave it out all year and it wouldn't look out of place, but I'm not going to do that. I did also get this cute glass that's like Star Wars meets M&M. I thought that would be cute to put it down in like where we keep all of our VHS. And then I did find some cookbooks, so I'm excited about that. Some vintage, some not. This vegan comfort food one looked cool. And then I found the Mediterranean diet cookbook, which I've mentioned, I think, in a few videos now that I've been wanting to do the Mediterranean diet. I've actually already, because I filmed this a while ago, been doing it mostly, and I feel amazing. I also found this Betty Crocker like soft cover book. I have a bunch of these already, but I didn't have this barbecue one, so I was excited to find that. It was from 1982. My mom actually had a bunch of these cookbooks, so that's how I started collecting them, because after she passed away, I kept them and then started finding more. I loved this, the cookie jar cookbook. It looks very like 70s to me, maybe 80s. So I'm excited for that. And then on the inside, I love this so much. It makes me want to cry at the same time though. It had like a little message on the inside. I actually have a lot of cookbooks with things of that nature on the inside. And then it had this marked here, so I'll definitely investigate that. I haven't looked at it yet, but I was trying to find a year, but I didn't see one. And then finally I saw 1978, 1976. So my instincts were right about that one. I love all the little illustrations too. I actually can't wait to get into this. I really, really want to do more vintage recipe videos, especially like in the next coming seasons. But then I also found this Better Homes and Gardens Gourmet Recipes Cookbook. I don't think I had that one. I'm gonna have to like keep a list on my phone because now it's like out of control. I have too many to remember which ones I have and which ones I don't have. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again on Tuesday with a bonus video.